Okay, so here we are, and I've got Melanie Mitro on the Zoom call with me. And as I shared a little bit earlier, the whole purpose behind these moments, if you will, is just to provide some insights and some leadership moments that we think everybody can benefit from, and maybe hang on to a piece of that, take it for their own good, and put it into their leadership quiver, and also take it and pass on to others. And Mel and I were having a conversation the other day, and we were talking a little bit about where we are at this time of year, and that, we're at that time where it's a little bit more challenging. And there's the speed of the leader, speed of the pack, but we also recognize that sometimes the speed of the leader, the leader also has influences on them that you have to work through. And she shared some great insights, I thought, that might be helpful with other people. So, Mel, I'm going to just basically turn it over to you to work your magic on this.
All right. Sounds good. So, hi, guys. So I was sharing with Jeff a couple of days ago just about a call that I did with my leaders. I do this Rising Stars Diamond and Above call every Wednesday morning. And, I was in the shower and I was like, what am I going to talk about today? It was that morning and I didn't have a topic. And I've personally been struggling with just my vision. I've had a lot of success in the business. I've accomplished a lot of goals, and I've sort of kind of come to this point where I feel like I'm on the struggle bus. And so I was like, perfect. I know that there are other people in my organization, diamonds, all the way up, that are feeling the same way right now. And sort of been the theme as I've been talking to people, and I'm pretty closed off. So I don't share a lot of struggles when I'm going through them. I sort of just deal with them behind the scenes. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to be honest with my team. I'm going to share with them what's going on. And so I told them about how I sat down and I spend 10 minutes every day sort of thinking about what my vision is, where I want to go in my business, what sort of impact that I want to have, and what kind of momentum. And I sat down with my sheet of paper and I was like, what motivates me? And I was like, I don't know. And then I put, what is my vision? And I put, I don't know. And I don't know. I mean, there is definitely about the past 6 to 8 weeks where I've kind of lacked motivation. I've lacked this drive. I sort of don't know where to go next. I feel like I've accomplished a lot of goals. So where do I continue to add value? How do I continue to raise the bar and elevate my leadership and grow my team and not get bored with the same things every single month? And so I started to share with them this struggle, this lack of motivation, even my struggle with my own fitness and nutrition. And I said to them, and I want to share this with you guys. And I called them my traps to success, because there is like a specific mindset that I have when I'm going through a rough patch. And this wouldn't be the first time that this has happened to me. And so I'm just going to share them with you guys because I think it's valuable. It's something you can take back and share with your teams. And I think it's important that we as leaders share what we struggle with and not just paint this picture that we've got it all together all the time. When in reality, every leader has moments where they just sort of feel like things are falling apart or they're not where they should be. And I think that these things happen for a reason, because they make us better leaders. So here's a couple of tips. So one of the things that I see leaders do that I refuse to do, that I keep in the back of my mind, I see my team doing this, but I won't let this happen to me, is I won't get caught up in those that quit. We all have it, right? We have diamonds that we think are going to be rock stars, that are going to be our next elite coaches, and they give up. They quit on themselves, and you see so much potential in them. And what we instantaneously do is, because we care about the people that join our organizations, is we blame ourselves and we say it's our fault that this person quit. I'm not a good leader. I'm not a good mentor. Why am I here in this business? And we stop recruiting, or we stop pushing forward, or we second guess ourselves and we play that blame game. And so it kind of halts our momentum in our business because we think it's our fault. And it's not our fault. We can put all the tools out there, but unless the person has that vision and they're driven, it's not going to matter. You can give them all the right tools and they will still find a way to quit. The second thing is we get down for too long on ourselves. So I watch coaches who miss a goal. They miss, a qualification, or, they miss a rank. And what happens is they let it defeat them. for not just a day, a week, but like months. And so what ends up happening is they don't reach elite in January. So they decide January, February, March, they're going to throw a pity party. And then in March, they decide, okay, I think I'm ready to go again. And they get the engine going, but it's too late. They've lost 4 months of their business, just being down on themselves before they start to get back up again. And it just creates this perpetual cycle. It's like our coaches that wait till the 25th to hit Success Club and they burn themselves out. And then they spend the whole next month, halfway through the month, trying to gain momentum. And so it's okay to throw a pity party, but I have to pick myself up fast. And I know that every day that I stay down is setting me behind. And it's a mental game. And sometimes it takes me like 10 times the amount of energy to do things on a good day that take me 2 seconds. But I know that forcing myself through these hard times are what make me a better leader. It makes me not lose the ground. The other thing too is projecting our hardships onto our team. So I could easily go in and say, it's hard, volume's down. I'm not seeing growth that I usually see. I've only produced 1 new diamond this year, woe is me. But I'm not going to project that on my team. I am the kind of person that's going to keep it to myself. I'm going to say, what am I doing? I'm going to be proactive versus reactive. It's saying like, okay, this is how I'm going to fix the problem. I'm not going to project that onto them. I'm always going to give them both sides of how they can build their business. And I'm going to keep myself focused on improving myself. And then the last thing is taking a 1 month break. That's a huge trap to success. Do you ever hear coaches that say, I just need to step back. I just need to take a month to figure it out. I'm not sure if this business is for me. So let me just take a step back. And what do? When we take a step back and we stop doing the vital behaviors that got us to where we are, we're basically affirming that taking that step back or that this business isn't for me is the right decision. Because we're not adding people to our funnel, we're not hitting Success Club, we're not growing our organization. Our energy then is projected to our team and they see that you've stepped back, so they take a step back. And so you are just confirming that taking a step back was the right decision because you let your foot off the gas. And so for me, during this season, this past 6 weeks, I have found myself now more than ever going to the books on my shelf and just pulling out a book and saying, okay, Melanie, what do you need today? And reading, this is what I need. And then taking that and applying it to my team and sharing that with them and forcing myself to say, you know what, no matter how hard it might be, I know that if I keep this steady, consistent cadence in my business, even if it's not as fast as it was, I won't lose ground. I will rebound. It's a season of imbalance that is teaching me to be a better leader. It's grooming me for something in the next month, next year, that I'm going to need to use this moment that I struggled, but I know it won't get the best of me. I know that I'm meant for something more, something greater. And so this time on the struggle bus is important for us. It's important for us to go through this because it's going to strengthen us in the future. And my vision for Beachbody and the company, it's not going to change. Like, I love what I do. It's just that sometimes we have to reinvent ourselves, but we just can't let these little traps to success be the end all be all. So those are my thoughts that I wanted to share. And I hope they're valuable for everybody on the wall and their teams too.
Well, I think they're great thoughts. I think they're timely thoughts. And then it'd be fun to jump into each one of those. You talked about a couple of thoughts as I was writing down some things. Was you talked about, sometimes people will get into their own pity party, things like that. And I always think of the Don Shula, who was a coach for the Miami Dolphins, and he had a 24-hour rule. And his 24-hour rule was when you win, you can celebrate for 24 hours. And when you lose, you can mourn for 24 hours. And then you get back into the cadence again. Then you get back into those pieces that that created success. And then I think the other piece that you just touched on, and it's some of my favorite terminology as well, is this concept of there's seasons of imbalance. And everybody wants overall balance in their life and in their business. But it's paved with seasons of imbalance. And those seasons of imbalance are those times when you do have to push harder. And like you said, sometimes to get the same thing done, you have to work it feels like you're working 10 times as hard to get to that breakthrough. But that it works. So we're about running out of time here, but I'll just throw my other two bits on this kind of topic is that I think the phenomenal thing about this business is when you step back and look at it, and particularly from a coach, and I'm not a coach, okay? And so but I do get the chance to watch successful coaches, and success does leave clues and indicators. And the cool thing, I think, the remarkable thing, I mean, the rewarding piece about this business is that the coaches who are successful are highly accountable, and they're also highly insightful to what they're doing, and they have that discipline to dig deep and to pull themselves up and to pull the book off the shelf and to reevaluate and consistently do this. And there is so much growth that comes from that. And so, I look at these times, that, they're a little softer, but I also welcome them because I know that what comes out of this is great growth, great strength, stronger leaders, good stuff. Now, don't give it to me every day. Don't get me wrong, but give it to me once in a while so that we can grow. But anyway, any last parting shots, Mel, before we say thank you and get back to the real world?
No, I actually don't. I don't have. I mean, I guess if I had to say one thing, is that you're not alone. I think too often we run this business on social media, and we sort of are on our own little islands at our own little houses doing our own little thing. And so it's easy for us to think we're the only one that is going through any kind of hardship in the business. And that's not the case at all. The minute you start to talk to other leaders, you realize, we're all in the same boat. And so I think the best thing we can do is share what's helping us to overcome that. Instead of kind of just all commiserating together, like, what can we share with one another? Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm trying. This is the way I'm trying to spice things up. And I think that's how we can make this wall. We can all pull together and share those ideas, and we can really kind of drive things in the opposite direction by using our momentum and our force in the right way.
Yeah, very, very well stated. Well, listen, we wanted to keep these fairly short, and you did a great job of doing that. If I wouldn't have said anything, we would have been exactly where we needed to be. So anyway, hey, Melanie, thank you so much. Thanks for your leadership coaches. We're going to continue to do these, and I think that you'll find value. And if you've got an idea that you want to share with me that we put on here, don't hesitate to do that, because the whole idea is let's just make ourselves better as we move along. So Mel, with that, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.